Alright, good evening ladies. In today's video we're going to be discussing Unibot and why I believe it could be a 100x coin for the next bull cycle. We have a lot of interesting data to get through in this video, so make sure you stick around till the very end. So let's just dive straight into the first reason why I believe Unibot is potentially a good investment. Not financial advice. So DEX volumes have been skyrocketing over the last while, and even CZ, the CEO, the founder of Binance, believes that DEX volumes will flip SEX volumes over time. So a DEX is a decentralized exchange, whereas a SEX is a centralized exchange like Binance, etc. And a DEX is the likes of Uniswap. But the UX for decentralized exchanges are totally dog shit, especially Uniswap. Like, you put in a transaction and you have no idea why it's failing. It doesn't even tell you why it's failing. It just fails, or you've wasted some gas fees and the transaction hasn't even gone through. Now, Unibot is coming straight in with that solution, making it much more user friendly to use Uniswap, use decentralized exchanges without even you realizing you're using it. So you can either use it through a Telegram bot, you can just tell it to buy stuff on your behalf through Telegram, or you can use Unibot X, and we'll dive into how those work later on in the video. But essentially Unibot is coming in with the solution for a growing platform, which is decentralized exchanges, within a growing industry, which is crypto. So yeah, it's growth on steroids that Unibot is potentially set up for. So in a nutshell, how Unibot works is you have a little chat bot in Telegram. You tell it, I want to buy a certain amount of tokens, go for it. It puts the transaction through, it sets the slippage for you and makes sure you don't get front run. It does all of the things that very few people understand what is actually happening there to make your transaction go through at the cheapest price. On top of that, you can actually also use, which you can't do on Uniswap or any other decentralized exchanges yet, or most of them, you can actually set buy orders and sell orders. So you can use limit prices, which has always generally been reserved by centralized exchanges if you wanted to do that. So you can set, okay, if the price drops to this price, I want to buy this amount of tokens, which is so handy, of course, especially when you're buying shit coins. There was no way to do that before. And in my last video, I actually said I would become very bullish if Unibot made some moves to become more than just a Telegram bot, if Unibot tried to become the front end of crypto. And that's exactly what they've done with Unibot X. Here you can see the chart, you can set your buy and limit orders, but you're not doing it directly from Telegram. It's more of like a app or a website application. You can also check your profit and loss across all your trades. It even has token scanners for new tokens that have just come out. So I think Unibot obviously has huge potential to become the front end for decentralized exchange trading, because DEX trading at the moment, like the UX improvements just haven't been there, and Unibot is basically becoming the front end for trading on decentralized exchanges. It's so much easier and so much better than doing it directly on Uniswap. So this update kind of shows you how committed the team are to actually improving the product. So here's a graph of the users for Unibot. You can see the pink line is the total cumulative users, anyone who's ever used Unibot, and the orange is the returning users, and the purple bars are the new users. Now, as you can see, it's kind of stalled out a little bit. It's generally trending upwards, but it's stalled out, and of course the reason it's stalled out is because crypto has taken a bit of a beating over the last couple of weeks or a week or so less people are going to be aping into shitcoins, and the main function of Unibot is aping into shitcoins. So when everything's going crazy, Unibot is going to go really, really crazy. But when crypto's going down, there's less money to be made in these kind of shitcoins, in this quick shitcoin trading flipping game, then obviously Unibot revenue, Unibot users is going to take a bit of a hit in the short term. So this is kind of like a leverage play on shitcoin trading activity. So you're essentially selling the shovels, which is Unibot, to people who are digging for their gold, which is the shitcoins. So it's kind of a nice way to expose yourself to the entire shitcoin, like very low cap shitcoin market. Now let's discuss the most bullish thing, in my opinion, about Unibot right now, and that is that the price to earnings ratio of Unibot is 2. So if you know anything about investing in the stock market, you know that like generally a company that is a very fast growing company, or even a fast growing company, will generally trade in the range of like with a price to earnings ratio of about 20 to up to like 100 times or even more, depending how fast they're growing. Now, Unibot has a price to earnings ratio of 2, which means it's anywhere from like 10 to 50 times undervalued on a price to earnings ratio metric. Now, obviously that assumes that their earnings will be constant over the next year. Like their current price to earnings ratio is 2 for the current earnings, but I actually think the earnings are going to grow over the next year, not just remain constant. So it's actually even cheaper on this metric. But let's actually dive into this figure, this earnings figure, a little bit deeper. Where is this earnings actually coming from? So a portion of these earnings is coming from the bot revenue. So whenever someone uses Unibot, a little transaction fee goes to the Unibot team, and a little bit goes actually towards Unibot coin holders. So there's a revenue share with the coin holders. We'll talk about that a little bit further, but a portion is going towards the Unibot team. So that's where some of the earnings is going. The rest of the revenue is still coming from this 5% buy and sell tax. So if you want to buy Unibot right now, you can only do it on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, and there's a 5% buy and a 5% sell tax. So if you're trading in and out of Unibot, you're taking a 5% cut every single time. And the reason they have that 5% buy and sell tax is to actually fund the team, because they did a stealth launch. They didn't do a pre-sale, they didn't do a raise, they just did a stealth launch. So that's why people made so much crazy money on Unibot in the first place, because they did a stealth launch. So they needed this 5% tax on either end to fund the team. Now this tax is not going to be a permanent feature. Soon the Unibot fees will be more than enough to cover the expenses of the team, in my opinion, and this was just a nice way for them to raise money initially. So as I mentioned, Unibot have been constantly shipping crazy good updates for Unibot. They have a crazy good team, a previous Apple top engineer who's constantly shipping new things, just like with Friendtech, the app that I'm very bullish and using every day at the moment. If you're not on Friendtech, probably worth getting on there, considering that they have an airdrop tab. I know this is a side tangent, but if you're in crypto and you're on Twitter, there's literally an app with an airdrop tab. Like, I don't know why people are not using this as much as they possibly can. Go buy some of my shares. I'm talking in there every day. My shares are like $20, not very expensive, and you can sell them if you think it's not worth it. But yeah, go in there, use the app, try and get some airdrop points. I've talked about that Friendtech in this video, but definitely worth getting on there in my opinion. Nevertheless, those two teams are shipping all the time, making updates that the community actually want. So essentially Unibot is 100% not in its final form whatsoever. Like, they're going to be introducing all sorts of things, perps, DeFi applications, like everything you can do in crypto. Like, Unibot want to be the front end for that, which is extremely bullish. Now, I mentioned you can get revenue share if you owned some Unibot coins, and you need to own at least 10 Unibot coins to participate in the revenue share right now. But I think hopefully that they will drop this figure, because I know that's quite a lot of money to a lot of people. It's about $900 at the moment to participate in the revenue share, but hopefully they'll drop that in the future. But if you are interested in Unibot, you can get that revenue share, which is nice. I think it's coming in at about 30% APY. So it's not make or break. If you want to invest in Unibot and you can only afford one Unibot coin, that's fine. Like, it's still, it's not like, oh, I can't get the revenue share, so it's not worth it. But if you do have the 10, you can get the revenue share, and you also get cheaper fees for actually using Unibot's product. So you get 20% off when you're using the Unibot product. Now, if you haven't signed up for Unibot yet, I'll leave my referral link. I'd appreciate if you use it, if you found this video useful. I believe you get cheaper fees for using my referral link in the description. But just on the last point I want to talk about in regards to Unibot, right now the lifetime value of one Unibot customer is 0.1 ETH or $160. So people who use Unibot in general have spent 0.1 of trading fees. So Unibot have earned 0.1 of trading fees from each user on average. So this is the lifetime value of each customer at the moment. So let's extrapolate that out for the number of users that Unibot could potentially have in the bull run. So say they have 1 million users, that's $160 million worth of lifetime value. If they have 10 million users, $1.6 billion of lifetime value. Now, most people know that, let's say for example, to get to 10 million users, 1.6 billion of revenue, like you need to add a multiple of that, and that's where you can kind of get to that 100x valuation, especially in a bull market where everyone is aping into shitcoins. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Cheers.